Hello, my name is Jasim from Jasim Al-Mosawi Counseling. Today we'll be talking about the thought and providing some strategy on how to manage thought. In the previous session, we talked about the type of the thought and the relationship between the thought and the brain. If you have not checked that video, please go and it's still in the on the Facebook. Please go ahead and review it. So today we'll be talking about technique and strategy to help manage the thought. Again, this is not a substitute for a session. This is general information for individual to help them manage some of their thought. If you need any support, please consult with your family physician and your mental health therapist. Most of us actually spend a lot of time inside of our brain, worrying about the future, thinking about the past, blaming ourselves for what we did, thinking about what can happen to us. So really, we are living in the moment, but our mind is in the future or in the past, and so we're not enjoying the moment. So this can be really a problem for us. So we need to learn some strategy to bring ourselves into the moment, into the present time. So negative thought can prevent us from enjoying and experiencing, can distract us from focusing on what important in our life, and can drain our energy actually. They can make us feel anxious and make us feel depressed. They can take the joy out of our life, and they actually can impact us physically and mentally. So I'll talk about how negative thinking can impact us physically a little bit. So when people become started to think too much, thinking negatively, they normally become depressed or anxious, and as a result of that, their immune systems are compromised. And when the immune system is compromised, the person has become easier target for a lot of infection, and especially in this current environment, like dealing with COVID and the issues with COVID. So really it is very important for us to learn some techniques, some strategies to help us manage these thoughts. So that's why we need to learn of this technique, and hopefully we'll be able to manage this technique. And there's a few techniques. There's a lot of actual technique to help manage negative thinking, but there's a few techniques that we can talk about it today and explore them, and hopefully that can help individual manage this negative thinking. So one of the technique is challenging the thought. When you're facing with a situation, try to take a moment, and really challenge what are you thinking. Most of us, when we face with a situation that we don't have a lot of information about it, we right away we jump into conclusion, and we started to think the worst case scenario of this, and you can test it out. For example, if you're driving and somebody cut in front of you, you really don't know the person, you never seen this person before, and just you don't know what happened, but somebody cut in front of you. Right away, our brain jump into that conclusion that this person is targeting us, this person doing this for us, personally. So we really need to challenge this thought and examine them. Are they really fact or just thought? And if they are just thought, we need to make sure that we don't listen to what we're thinking. We need to examine this thinking. And also, we need to think about and we recognize distortions in our thought. Our mind actually often tries to convince us, of something that isn't true. So these are distortion thought. We call them distortion thought. Okay, there are a number actually of distortion thought that I will be discussing here, and you could look at them. You could actually Google distortion thought, and you will see look at the number of distortion thought, and maybe check which one you are resonated with. If you're resonating in any of these distortion thought, maybe start challenging them. So one of the distortion thought that a lot of people use, they call them black and white thinking. Seeing everything in one way. There is no other way, just one way, without there is no in between, just black and white thinking, either this way or this way, nothing else. So that can be a very, very, very very problematic for people. Polarizing also that's one of the distortions, polarizing, which is like you're assuming that you done something wrong. You're blaming yourself. You jump into the worst. You think that somebody, for example, somebody did not smile at you, or somebody did not say hi to you, that there's something wrong with you, or you've done something to. That's why this person is like did not smile or did not say hi to you. So they call them polarizing thinking. Okay, that's another distortion. The third distortion is filter thinking, which is actually we choose information and we delete other information. Okay, so for example, we focus only on the negative. So that's we filter the information that coming into our head. So when you're facing with a situation, you actually don't listen to the entire. You don't gather all the entire information. You're only focusing on a portion of the information. We filter information to make them fit into what we think. So that also can be a problematic too. So if you are one of the people that really trying to filter information and focus only on the negative, try to make some changes in that. Catastrophizing, catastrophizing, which is I have difficulty pronouncing, catastrophizing, which is assuming the worst possible, the worst possible outcome. Well, if I am going to interview, I know I'm not going to make it. I know that this interview is not going to work for me. This is not going to happen to me. I'm not going to be able to make that interview. So really, you're just assuming the worst for yourself. So these are, like I just listed, like black and white thinking, paralyzing, filtering, and catastrophizing. These are like four distortions, but actually there's a lot of distortions. You could Google them, but just Google distortion thinking, and you will be able to find a lot of this information. So that's this is an idea here. The second one, the second idea on how to manage thought is we have to really take a break when we face with a situation. Try to back up. Try not to make a decision right away. Try not to react right away. Take a 5-minute break, and you will see. As soon as you take a 5-minute break, your logical side of the brain will shift, will start to work. Because normally when people operate based on the emotion, their emotional side of the brain is taken over. But when they are taking 5-minute break, their logical brain relax a little bit and work through the issues and trying to find alternative to solve the problem. So exercises can be very good. There's many other distortions, many other issues, many technique that we can focus on it right now. But let's keep it into a short video right now. Actually, when you work on your thought and you're focusing on your thought and you're reducing your thought, you actually can lower your blood pressures. You could reduce risk of the heart disease, your immune system, as we mentioned earlier, that will be increased, and you also can reduce stress. These are some of the things that can help when you are actually using a better positive talk. Okay, thank you again. Please, if there's any suggestion, or if you'd like us to explore a specific topic, just send us a comment or write us a comment, a topic that you would like us to explore. We could explore it if we can. Again, I'm not going to promise that I'm an expert in everything, but maybe some other topic that I know, but I will be able to explore them. So thank you again. Please reach out to us as Jassim Al-Mosawi is counseling. Thank you and have a great day.